My name's Nas, and I just bought a new toy. I'm hoping to make a little money off it, but the problem is it comes with no title, it comes with no paperwork, it's not working, it has no battery, it has no gas tank. I'm hoping to make money, I'm not sure if I can. This is not the toy, let me show you. This is a 1991 Sea-Doo Bombardier XP, one of the first generations they ever made. It is a complete piece of junk, missing so many different parts, and the best part of all, I have no mechanical experience. I have a jet ski that I've always taken to a shop. I haven't done an oil change on my car probably in 20 years. I'm gonna do a ton of research, explore things that I've never seen before, and I'm gonna bring you guys along for the journey. So I hope you learned something. I hope I can teach you how to make money. This is the first episode of Nas's Toy Shop. But first, let me do a quick outfit change. All right, much better. Wow, did the sun change? What the heck? I noticed the first problem before I even left the seller's house. Before I opened up and looked at the engine, we didn't even talk price yet. This is something important that you want to pay attention to yourself. Standard ball sizes nowadays are 2 inches, but this is an older trailer, so it needed a 1 7/8 inch ball. And in order for me to do that, I had to flip this whole thing around, right? Problem is, this guy was stuck. This had a lock on it. As you can see on this side, right now it's a cotter pin. That's what's holding it into place. But I had a key lock, and that key lock, because of the salt water, corroded and was stuck. So luckily these guys had some tools and they helped me basically just cut it off. And I was able to pull this out, flip this around, and make it work. So that was pretty helpful, and I was appreciative of that. In order to make this work, you have to figure out your why. And for me, it came down to 3 reasons. Number 1, education. What would it cost for me to go get educated on something like this? Tens of thousands of dollars, a year in school, taking time off work, don't have that luxury. So for me, $300 was a small price to pay for the education. Number 2, I like working with my hands. So for me, this isn't work, this is fun. It's a weekend project where I can kill some time and enjoy what I'm doing. Number 3, I like to make money, and that's the end goal here. But it's not the first goal, it's the last goal. That after I get my education and then I do something I enjoy, that hopefully I can make some money out of this. I saw the listing on Facebook and sent the seller a couple of questions and went from there and decided to go the same day and meet them in person. They were asking $300. Basically what the lady said is that she's had it sitting in her yard for 2 years uncovered, so that's why it's in the condition that it's in. She got it and she has no title, and the previous person never signed it over to her. So my thought process was that most people wouldn't want to take on that challenge, so maybe I can get a better deal. Also, it's a learning experience for me. If I want to do this in the future, I need to know how to handle title issues. So I negotiated down to $100. She was happy with that. I was happy with that. We won. We made the deal. Still, the title is something I have to work on, and I'm not sure if that puts this project to a dead end. But maybe let me just show you a little bit more about what's going on with this jet ski. First impression was that the trailer itself was actually in pretty decent condition. What you're looking for is heavy signs of rust, and metal is completely rotted out. I didn't see that on this trailer. Do notice that this handle is kind of sticking, so I might have to work on that a little bit. The problems I had is that I connected it to my car, started going down the street, couldn't go past 22 miles an hour. So there might be something going on with these tires or the wheel bearings or something, but luckily it was pretty close to home, so a 10-minute drive became a 25-minute drive just because I had to go super slow. Another issue is that this is running into the jet ski, no matter how you hit it. And here, I know that there's supposed to be a gas tank there, and clearly it's been cut off. She did tell me that though. Looks like this might be the float or something to tell the fuel level. Not really sure what that is, but we can figure that out later. This right here is the oil dipstick, and if you look below, that looks like the oil tank falling off here, just hanging on for dear life. So figure out something like that. I couldn't open it. Let's see if we can get it open like this. Yeah, a little tight, but we got that. Yeah, it looks blue. I don't know what it's supposed to look like, but I guess that's probably correct. Inside actually looks relatively clean to me, but you know, until a few things were disconnected. For example, this, whatever this leads to, I need to figure that out. Right down here, we've got an electrical box that's not in place. So I got to figure out how to do that. And there's no battery for sure. The seller told me that there's no key, so I couldn't start it, but that was okay with me. This is the choke. Basically how you determine which gas you want to use. There's a normal full-size gas tank, which you know is missing. There's also the reserve gas tank, which is part of that. So you just, the fuel selector just goes back and forth to determine that. This would be where you put the key, and this would be the start button. Clearly this can't be reused. This is all garbage. Feels like it's plastic, but it should be more of a rubber-like feeling. We got some broken plastics here. This is your steering, and it turns freely, which is a good sign. The problem is the handlebar is supposed to turn with it, and as you can see, it's not. So something might be disconnected there. The condition of the seat, there's a tear here, some bird poop there, but whatever. For sitting out for so long and being in 1991, I think these things are actually in pretty decent condition. Even this here, I think this can be cleaned up. Well, I guess there's another gash there, so that's not too good. If you look at the exterior, I couldn't find any holes or any things like that. You're going to see some scraping like along here, which is normal for use of a jet ski, especially something that's 30-something years old. But there's no holes, there's no leaks, so the hull looks like it's intact. This guy, same thing. The plastic looks pretty decent. Yeah, we're missing some stickers. There's a gash there. I wonder if that's something somebody can fix, not me. This is in good condition. So part of me thinks that I don't have the capability or the skill set to redo this. There's still money to be made in parts. So will someone want this for parts if there's no title? Can I even do that? Is this legal? You know, there's several questions I have to ask, and that's why I'm trying to help you guys figure this out. So when you run into it, you know what to do. It makes your life a lot easier. When looking online, you do find some information, but online is not always correct. Sometimes laws change. The first things you gotta do is make sure this thing isn't stolen. And here's why I think it's not. So every jet ski might be a little bit different, but this is the VIN number back here, right? And the VIN number is intact. It's not scratched out. That's usually a sign that someone stole it. So that's good. I also went online and there's a search tool that I use, and I'm gonna show you that. There's gonna be a link down below. But I was able to pull up some information on this and see that it was last registered in 2023. And when I went to go check it out in person, guess what? Here's a sticker that shows that expiration expired in 2023. I was able to search using these numbers, and that's how I found it online. The seller story added up. Everything makes sense. It doesn't look stolen to me. And for me, it was a $100 bet for the education and for the ability to make money. So yes, I can afford to lose $100. Worst case scenario. But maybe, just maybe, I can do something with this trailer. Maybe I can turn that into a profit. I don't know yet. Now, if you want to know if your trailer is stolen, that's a little more difficult. There's a few things you can check for. I start out by looking at the tongue here, and I cleaned it up a little bit. You can see some numbers, but none of those are the VIN number, right? That's identifying information for the tongue if you ever want to replace that. Look for stickers on the side here, and this one's a little faded, but you can see on the other side, just an advertisement for, you know, wherever this thing was originally bought from. Over here, we've got performance trailers, that sticker. I'm thinking this was the original VIN number plate. It's not even a plate, it's just a sticker, and it's faded off. That happens over time with the salt water. Warning sticker back there. Sometimes it's behind these lights. I know that's kind of weird, but it was not behind these lights. And same thing all around the rest of the trailer. There's really no identifying information. There's no VIN number, but I do think there's a way to get around that. This wood here is actually bowing. So it's going at a curve like that. So that means that has to be replaced. The carpet itself looks pretty decent to me. I'll know once I get the jet ski off here. If I can even figure out how the heck to get the jet ski off, because I don't have a shop. Most part, the rest is okay, but see, this looks a little excessive to me. This looks like it's going right through the middle. I might try and clean it up, or I might try and replace it. This is how you actually want it to look, not so rusty. So it looks like someone might have already replaced that. After that 20-something minute drive home, I did touch these bearings and look for signs of heat. They were actually room temperature. They felt perfectly fine, which doesn't quite make sense to me why I was having this vibration in the car going over 20 miles an hour. It's possible something's wrong with these tires, but even these tires look newer. What you're looking for is like signs of rot. They're like weathering away, and they're cuts, and there's holes and things like stuff in that. The treads actually look decent on them, so I don't think that's too bad. There's quite a few issues on this thing, and it might cost a lot of money to rebuild it. Looking online, it looks like I might get something like $1,000 for this. It could go $1,500, $1,800. It's more of a collector's item because it's so old. It's not something that's in high demand. It's a very unique buyer. With that said, I don't know if I want to invest a ton of parts and time and money just yet, because I still have to figure out the title issues. Maybe I can just quickly flip it. And one way to add value off something is when there's a Facebook post that shows that everything's covered in leaves and super dirty, just clean it up. Let's start with that. So I found that the easiest way to pressure wash is just simply have your wife do it for you.
Zero, what are you doing?
Oh, sorry, honey, I'm coming right now. See that it made a big difference here, but we still have like some mold and mildew spots that didn't come out, and some stuff like this that the pressure washer didn't take out, so I'm going to try scrubbing it by hand here. Oh, it's actually working pretty good. See that? Gone. So much better. We got a lot of the schmuck off there. You can still see there's still some mold and mildew, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm just wanting it to be more presentable. So hopefully we can make a couple bucks off it. Huge difference. Just probably took me about 15 minutes of my time. A little soap and water and a pressure washer. Wanted to take a look in here, and this thing's giving me a hard time to remove, so I don't want to fight with it too much. I'm trying to look at the impeller and see what state that it's in. So if you can see those teeth right over there, well, this is the first thing. There's a piece of plastic in there. This might be the wear ring or something, so that's a sign that something's wrong there. But I'm looking at the teeth of that, and I just want to see how clean it looks, and does it spin? So if we do this, boom, we get movement. See that? So that is actually a good sign that the engine is not locked up. All right, we're on the right track. Next step, we gotta touch the electrical. I see a ground wire here, I see some red wires, positive wire here. This is the electrical box. We need to pull this apart and see what we can make happen here. Looks like this is going to be my starter solenoid. When you press the switch, these two connect via the solenoid, and it sends positive to the starter, which gets it going. Looking at the conditions of the wires, and actually everything looks pretty clean. It looks like the seal held up, and no one's been messing around and doing anything goofy in here. All the wires look intact. I don't see any corrosion. These connections are super clean. Oh yeah, baby. It's spinning and it's shooting some grease up at me. Looks like the oil line disconnected here, but it is turning over. That's a huge, huge win. So right down there is what's shooting up at me. I think it's an oil line disconnected, maybe a fuel line. I still have to figure that out. Got oil all over me, probably some oil on my face, but hey, that's a win. Like, that puts a huge smile on my face. We just upped the value of this, even if it's just for parts. Someone wants to know they can rebuild this. The whole engine isn't seized up, so it's not. Okay, so we cleaned her up, got her looking way better. We checked the impeller. Impeller looks pretty good. Everything in the back end is not so bad. That wear ring, you know, I don't know how to replace that, so I won't touch that. Most importantly though, we got the engine to turn over, and that makes this a lot more valuable. And I have it on camera so I can show it to a potential seller. I can put it on Facebook Marketplace. I don't want to do any more work than what's already done because I may not be able to get title. I may not be able to sell it. So in the next episode, I'm gonna go figure out that title battle, and I'm gonna take you guys along and see if this helps you too. See you on the next one.